Yeah, I always like the saying they tell the kids, "You get what you get, and you don't get upset."
Okay.
That's a good way of saying it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, my design's got a lot of things in it. Everybody's got, push button trigger points in their design, and it's just, well, you get what you get, and you don't get upset. But it's developing that awareness and going through that uncomfortable process of being aware of it, and then learning to love yourself for who you really are.
Yeah.
That, that's where human design really helps you.
Hey there, beautiful souls. It's your girl, Allie, and we're back at it again for another episode of Living Life Consciously. This is part 3 of a conversation with our guest, Donald, about human design. Before we jump into it, let everybody say hello.
Hey, Cosmic Thrill Seekers. I'm Justin, and this is Living Life Consciously, where we explore the extraordinary, ride the waves of inspiration, and embark on an adventure of limitless curiosity together.
And I'm Leslie, your love-lit co-host, aka eternal spiritual being having a temporary human experience. Awesome to be here.
Thanks. And Donald?
And I'm Donald, and I'm just enjoying the human design system. I've been doing it for about a year now, and I'm just sharing it with whoever's got an ear for it and who's interested in investigating themselves.
Nice. And
Awesome.
thank you for being willing to explain all of this to us and to our audience. And for those of you that are watching this, please make sure you check out part 1 and 2, where Donald covers Leslie and I's chart as well. So this is part 3 to go over Justin's.
Yeah, I'm excited.
He's been dying to hear this information since Leslie and I got ours, and he's like ready to hear it. So let's get started.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so to start off, so Justin, in your chart, you have your sacral defined, which is the square in the middle of the chart here. So this makes you a generator. And because you don't have your solar plexus defined, this makes you a sacral authority generator. And you're a 2-4 generator because you have a 2 in your point 2 in your personality and a 0.4 in your design.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be going through that later. So let's just talk about what it's like to be a generator. So the generator aura is open and enveloping, which naturally attracts the people and the opportunities to you. The generator decision making is strategies to wait to respond. Initiating instead of waiting to respond, waiting for your body's response can make you feel frustrated. So sometimes we may feel pressured to do things, make decisions for our mind. Then in the process of doing them, we find out that why am I doing this? And it becomes very frustrating. Frustration is a signpost that you're giving your energy away to everything that you're not. And this is also referred to as a not self behavior. Take a moment and reflect on a memory where you were frustrated. Ask yourself what led up to that point when you were frustrated. Why were you trying to make things happen, either from an internal or external pressure? Recognizing this is the first step because it tells you where your energy is spent. Now, the true self or the signature of the generator is satisfaction. Generators are here to do the work they love and love the work they do. You get work done using a step-by-step process, so it's important that you are invested, involved, and committed to the work that you're doing through your response. It's your gift in life to perfect a task, process, or skill to bring inspiration to reality. There's nothing more satisfying than going to bed completely exhausted after fully using your energy doing the work that you love. This feeling you get when you wait to respond to the energetic requests is that you naturally attract. One of the existential questions that generators ask themselves is, who am I? And human design can help you learn about yourself through experimenting with your design. So you're not supposed to believe anything that I tell you. Just experiment with the information and find out for yourself if it's true.
Okay.
So once you know who you are, you can love yourself, which reduces, and it also reduces the resistance in your life from making these mental decisions that we're kind of all trained to make, through school and our parents and everything. So now I'm going to talk about your authority. So for your decision making, so you're waiting to respond to something. So when you respond to something, your authority tells you if that something is right for you or not. And your authority is sacral authority, which means you'll get this internal bodily response, and it might even come out as a verbal response, like a mm-hmm for a yes, or a for a no, or like ask the question in a different way.
I do that
The
a lot.
sacral really responds.
I've
Sorry?
noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the sacral really wants to respond to yes or no questions the most. It's pretty like binary in that way.
Okay.
So if people are asking you, what do you want for dinner? You probably have no clue. But if they said something like, do you want chicken for dinner, or do you want, some rice and beans? Then you'll have a response to the thing that's actually being asked.
That's so true. Because, like, I could give a perfect example of that. Like, literally what you just said. I'll be like, babe, what do you want to eat for dinner? He'll be like, I don't know. And I'll be like, okay. Well, and then I go into the kitchen. I'll look in the refrigerator. I'll look in the freezer. I'll look on the shelf. I'll be like, all right, these are your meal options. Do you want this, this, or this? And he'll be like, that one.
Yeah, because he's responding to what he's seeing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so wild.
And it's funny too. Like you're a generator too, Allie. So maybe Justin feels like something for dinner, but you don't feel like the same thing. So you might say like, you might even have an instance where you say, "Do you want to go out to eat?" And he'll be like, "Uh-huh," and then he should ask you the question back, "Do you want to go out to eat?" And you may have a totally different sacral response to that,
I do.
that question.
Okay.
Yeah, even though you asked it to begin with.
Yeah.
Right.
This is cool information to know. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, this is like explaining us.
All right. Yeah. All right, Justin. So you're a 2-4 profile. This is the hermit opportunist. So the line 2, is a hermit. They like to be alone. And the line 4 is an opportunist, or a type of networker. So you like to be in a network of people, and that's where you have the most influence.
Yeah.
And Allie, you're the same way in that respect.
Yeah. This is cool.
But you're a 1-4. Yeah.
A hermit opportunist.
Okay,
That's
so-
cool.
So with the 2-4 profile, you're a natural who is here to be called out by others to share your innate talents and genius. You're concerned with insecurity, but will eventually learn to trust your natural gifts that require no study. So you're not really one to study. You just have these innate gifts, and people kind of see them in you. You don't really see them in yourself, and they kind of call you out on them. Yeah.
That makes
You're
so much
inherently
sense.
shy and wish to be invisible. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah. However, this is actually very transparent to other people. They're able to look in and see what you cannot, your natural talent and genius. This means you can only see yourself through the projections and feedback of other people. So do you find this happening in your life? Like you'll be really good at something, but it's just something you just do?
Yep.
He just dives into all these different projects and all of a sudden becomes like an insta genius on the matter. I'm like, when did you become an expert on this? What did I miss? How did you learn that so fast?
Oh, we'll get to that. That's kind of part of his cross too. We'll talk about that in a
Okay.
minute.
Wow.
Synchronicity.
So when the right person calls you out, it can lead to profound transformation in your life, pushing you closer to your purpose and destiny. But you don't like being called out, so answering just any call can put tremendous stress on your body. So with being a hermit, there's this shyness and boldness that kind of comes out through your personality. you either want to be shy and like invisible, or you're like, okay, I could probably do that. So then you become bold.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh, Improperly losing your energy can result in fatigue, burnout, and over time exhaustion. It's important to follow your strategy and authority to know which call is correct to answer. There's a natural tension between your hermit personality that wants to do its own thing, and then your design side opportunist that wants to connect with others to share something. So this is like that whole networker. And the reason why this line's also called opportunist is because your networks in life will bring you the opportunities. So
Mm.
you're not really designed for strangers. Your network could bring strangers to you, but it's through your network usually. And
Okay.
these are where you get your opportunities. Yeah. You're very particular about your environment and enjoy having things arranged in specific ways that feels good for you. Your environment is where you retreat to be left alone to do your own thing without interruption. Uncertainty is a part of life because we live in a world where people expect you to explain how you do what you do. And you may not know exactly how you do what you do. You just kind of do it. It's being a natural. Yeah. Uh,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. So, don't worry too much about what other people think. Just be you.
Okay.
You have an unconscious instinct for networking, which is the most effective way you attract opportunity, success, and security into your life. Being in your network can feel nourishing for you and can also be nourishing for the people in your network as well. Because of this, it is important that you are called to the correct networks so you don't feel too depleted.
Hmm.
Feeling nourished and depleted are good signposts that you're in a correct or incorrect network. You are not designed for strangers, and the only way a stranger can reach you is through someone you already know. Attracting the correct call will occur naturally when your life is properly aligned through using your strategy and authority. Without this guidance, life can be very chaotic, and you may never hear the transforming call. So you may never hear from another person what you're good at if you kind of burned away all your networks through getting into bad networks.
Oh yeah.
Part of being a line four is um, like never leaving one network unless you have another one to join.
Mm.
Like never leave a job or a girlfriend or anything without having another one lined up.
Oh wow.
Because because you're going to be waiting for whatever network you're in to bring that other thing to you.
Yeah.
You have any questions about that?
I'm gonna sip my tea.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
the tea sipping going on.
Wow. Yeah, that's resonating deeply, very deeply. Okay.
That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah,
All right.
that's really explaining me. I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of like the role you're playing in this lifetime, right? This
yeah,
incarnation, I can't prove incarnation, but we're definitely here experiencing this right now. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
this is what it's going to be for this life.
Yeah. The people out there that really know me, like I would say my family, if they're watching this, you guys will probably know exactly what we're thinking. But yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it at that.
All right.
It's really neat.
What was
Yeah.
that, Leslie?
I said it's really neat how accurate the human design is. When you start breaking it down, it's pretty wild.
Yep.
So it's like a blueprint to guide you. And it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about your strengths with regard to the centers you have defined. So
Okay.
when you have a defined center, for example, your heart center and your G center, can you see my mouse pointing at them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And your spleen and your sacral and your root center are all defined. This means you have a consistent way of relieving energy from those centers. So you have a fixed way of being in those situations. So your heart center is defined. So you have a You have a willpower. So when you say that you will do something, you're actually going to do it. The majority of the population actually has an undefined will center. So you kind of put, when you're in the room, you put pressure on undefined will centers to agree to doing things that they may or may not do as they're trying to prove themselves.
Okay.
but you know that if you say that you're going to do something, you're going to get it done.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially at work. More so work than at home, but yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can even do like sacral check-ins if you knew a coworker was a generator, and they say like, "Oh, I'll do that," when you're in their presence, and then just ask them, "Will you do that?" And then like wait for a response if you know they're a generator, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good
Your
throwback
body will
question.
know if they actually have the energy to do the request or not.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some ways you can play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, I'm actually the boss at my job, so I have like 10 people that I'm responsible for.
Oh
So
wow, yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. But you've got the gate 31 here, which is influence. Like it's a leadership gate.
There
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of these gates up here have to do with management type positions. People who
Really?
have those gates.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Mhm. They have you have your G center defined. So this is you have a fixed sense of your own love, identity, and direction in life.
Hmm. Okay.
You have a fixed splenic center. This is like a fear response. Um, so this is like your intuition or physical awareness and taste, awareness of what's not healthy in the now. So you have a pretty like you already know what's good for you and what's not good for you.
Mm. Okay.
You have a defined sacral center, which is your energy resource. So this is the ability to perform and sustain work you love for prolonged periods. So as long as you're doing something you love, you could probably do it forever and ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like all generators have this, and this is the dichotomy between generators and the non-sacral beings, so reflectors, projectors, and manifestors. So they're looking for our life force energy all the time, and we have it. So, so that's it's kind of like the symbiotic relationship between us.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And you have a defined root center. So this is all about your adrenaline, the ability to perform consistently under pressure and deal with stress. And you can also apply pressure to people with undefined root centers to like hurry up and stuff like this, like without even knowing it. So,
Are you thinking
you
of
said
work
you were
again?
a manager, so
He's thinking about
figured
work
I'd
again.
throw that in.
Yeah, because he's like the boss at his job or team lead. I don't know what the proper term is, but like whatever. He has like 10 dudes that he's like in charge of for the whole night. So he has to like assign each of them a task of what they're
Right.
supposed to be doing. And then all throughout the night, he's like going and checking on each person and making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So
Right,
that
right.
makes sense to that situation. In my
Right.
brain, it does anyway.
And we work under flat rates, right? So we have all right, hang on. Okay, so we work under flat rates. We only have so much time to complete a job, and
Mhm.
my guys have to get those jobs done under the flat rates. Otherwise, we don't make the numbers. And
You lose money.
yeah, and so it's like I have to go around, and say, hey, do you need any help? You're starting to run behind. Come on, you got to pick it up. That kind of thing. I mean, I don't know. I've been told that I've been told by my guys that they really like working for me. That I'm not a typical boss. I'm not mean or
Yeah, I've thought
anything,
that too, because like we've been on the phone at times where he was at maybe we shouldn't say that.
No, it's okay.
Anyway, we were on the phone while he was at work and I was listening to how he was speaking to his guys and I was like, you're so freaking nice. Like if I had a boss like you, I would be wanting to do my tasks and be like doing extra work because just the way he like presents it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. I don't mind doing that. Whereas I've had bosses that like bark orders at you and in my head I'm like, man, go,
Yeah, I don't bark orders. you know.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about like the not self, or where your mind could come in and start telling you to do things that aren't for your greatest good. So this
Oh,
is like kind of where we all get pulled off track. Everybody has not self themes, so
Is that the black line on the right side?
no, this is all the open centers. So for
Oh,
example,
open
the solar
centers. Okay,
plexus,
okay.
yeah, the throat, the ajna, and the head.
Okay.
The first one I'll start with is the solar plexus, though.
okay.
And actually, what's really interesting about your solar plexus is you have no channels even close to touching it. So this is totally open.
I noticed that. What does that
Which means
mean?
you may not even have an, yeah. And this center is all about holding on to things that are not good for you. Sorry, not holding on to things, avoiding conflict, confrontation and truth. Sorry. Right. So, but you may not even be aware that you're avoiding confrontation and truth in certain situations.
Okay.
Yeah. But because it's totally open, it almost makes you empathic to other people. Like you can totally see how they're feeling in the moment when you're in their aura and stuff.
Yeah, that
This is
makes sense.
definitely like empathic vibes here.
Mm,
That,
accurate.
yep, that's me.
And same with you have a totally open head. This is our inspiration center. And the not self theme of the open head is thinking about things that don't matter in your life in particular. So if something happens to someone else and you're like, oh, I feel so bad for that person, and and like, yeah, just going on, your head's like chewing on that instead of saying like, oh, that's interesting what happened to that person, or I feel bad, but I'm not going to stay in that. So it's about letting that pressure just go through.
Mm,
And again, it's totally open, so you may not have much of awareness of that one.
okay.
And then the ajna is an awareness center. It's kind of like your pineal gland. It's related to the pineal gland, and this is where all our information becomes concretized, or like where we try to be certain about things. So the not self theme of this is trying to be certain even when you're not certain about things, other people. And
Okay.
the open throat is sorry.
I just said okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, yeah, yeah. And then the open throat is action and manifest, like communication and action, or a manifestation. So because it's open and because you have two awareness centers, this becomes a personal center.
Mm,
And you may feel like there's a personal pressure to speak or act, or get attention from people sometimes.
oh, okay.
Yeah. You have any questions on the open centers?
So the solar plexus
Sorry.
being open,
Mhm,
that means I'm
mhm.
empathic,
Yeah.
like extremely empathic. And yeah, that resonates. Can you explain the crown again? Or is that the crown, or what is that
Oh,
one?
yeah, the open head center. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see it like it's the crown. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like this is our inspiration center. So where we get inspiration. So you're kind of here to um, like hear inspiration and determine, using your strategy, what's inspiring to you in this life, right? You're not here to like chew on other people's problems and stuff, which can kind of get stuck in the head center, right? So you're
Yeah.
trying to, you're thinking about other people's problems and you're trying to fix their problems. And maybe you spent like hours and hours trying to fix someone's problem and you didn't get what you wanted to do that day done, and then all of a sudden you're back to frustration,
So
right?
awareness of this
Oh,
could catch
Yeah.
yourself if you're find yourself worrying or thinking too much about somebody else's problems. You can say, "Oh, well, this is my not self,
Yeah.
and I
okay.
need to
Yeah.
Well,
read."
yeah, in the past I've okay, all right, so to give an example of what you just said, um so let's say I've had, like spark plugs to change on my car, right? And I've had to fix my car or something. It's like I've always, but then somebody else comes along and they're like, "Hey, I need this, this, and this." So it's like Okay, so then I go and fix their car instead, and at the end of the day, I haven't done anything on my car, and I'm aggravated with myself or frustrated because of it.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's happened a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, a
Yeah.
lot more than a couple, but yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So
that
definitely like
resonates.
the openness is where you get pulled off track, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So like when you get pulled off track, then you get that not self theme. When you've been pulled on track, it's kind of like a message to you or a signpost that you've been pulled off track. It's that frustration feeling. And you
Okay.
really want to like the generator signature is satisfaction. So if somebody asks you like, oh, can you change the spark plugs on my car? This is where a good chance to wait to respond is, right? So
Mm,
you check with yourself inside and you're like, and you say like, is it a uh-huh or an uh-uh? And if it's an uh-huh, can you actually honor that?
Mm.
Or do you feel like, because there's all this conditioning that we receive from society, well, you should help out your neighbor or you should help out your friend or this person did this for
mhm.
me, so I should do that. This is all the mind telling you stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's talking in stories to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, for a large part of my life, I was a big people pleaser, like running around people pleasing all the time. And
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
then I'd be frustrated at the end of the day because I didn't leave any time for myself,
Right.
do anything for myself, right?
Right.
But then
Yeah.
you adjusted, and now how is it working better for you now?
It's good. It's uncomfortable though. Like when you're in your experiment and there's still that external pressure to people please because that's the way I was conditioned, but now I have an awareness of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can check in with myself and say
Yeah.
like, am I people pleasing? Is this in my highest good also as well as theirs,
Gotcha.
right? Yeah. So it's also about like as a generator, you really need to learn to love yourself, right? I think all the types need to learn to really love themselves. Because when you love yourself and you know yourself, then you're kind of unshakable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're kind of like Neo in the Matrix moving through it because you know what the program's going to do, but you know who you are.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
And that's also synchronistic to what Tom and AJ from Speaking from Source said, because they also said basically the same exact thing, that once you accept yourself and love yourself and step into your own comfort with who you are, then you move through life differently.
Mhm.
Beautiful message.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tom and AJ Speaking from Source.
So I guess we'll get into your incarnation cross next. So the incarnation cross is made up of your personality sun, your personality earth. So the top two black boxes, and the
Okay.
top two red boxes, which is your design sun and your design earth.
Okay.
So with the right angle cross of penetration, you have an innate ability to penetrate anything on the surface. So you're not really here to know the middle or the end, only the beginning of things. So you're like this icebreaker who breaks through barriers of the surface and starts things. You're kind of like an initiator of sorts.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. And then once you start something, you kind of like want to take a step back out of it. You just want to step away from it. So you're here to start things, but then kind of step back. Like you don't want to be part of the whole middle and ending of it.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking of that Prodigy song Firestarter. I'm a fire
Yeah.
starter, twisted fire
Yeah.
starter.
Uh,
Does that lend to like him having like a million projects that are started and like there's all these little things that are going on at the same time?
Yeah. 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 It's all about
Calling you
it's
out,
all
love
about
you.
beginning. Yeah, but it's just who he is, right?
Yeah,
So this can be difficult when you're a
I don't
line
care.
four in
I'm
your
just pointing
network,
it out.
right?
I'm just making an observation, no judgment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it can be difficult as a line floor because of your influence on a network, right? So some people in the network may think like, oh, this guy just starts things and he never sees them to completion, but you're actually there to just kind of start things, get the ball rolling.
Okay.
You're not there to really see it to the end.
Oh,
So it's in your design.
okay.
Yeah, it's part of your design. So
Wow.
But
it's something you can love about yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That we can love.
All right. So your sun gate and your personality is a 53.2. So this is a collective abstract. There's a root pressure to start things. This is all about the form. So it's all about concretizing like consciousness into the form, like building things, making things, stuff like this.
Hmm.
So the things that you're starting are kind of bringing things into form, right? So it starts as an idea. Maybe Allie has an idea for something, and then you can bring it into the form,
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
something like that.
Nice.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That lends
your
well to
development has
YouTube.
a
Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So there's this pressure to begin and start new things, and it's like it's a mechanical pressure, right? It's like there's a fuel and a pressure from your root center saying, "Hey, start this new thing, start this new
Mm-hmm.
thing." And it requires time to correctly decide what thing you commit your energy to.
Okay.
Your role to start projects. Yeah, your role is to start projects and relationships. You're designed to start, but not necessarily see everything to completion. And committing your energy, you should commit your energy using your strategy and authority.
Okay.
So, are you responding to starting that new thing? Did someone, tell you that you should start that new thing? So then you started it, but then it just becomes this latent project that's sitting on your desk, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So, and this gate carries potential for a bit of depression, like because maybe you've started so many things that you're overwhelmed, or people see you as a failure because all you're doing is starting things. So there's a potential for depression here. Just something to be aware of.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah,
love
you don't have the connected,
yourself.
right?
Yep. Love yourself.
Um, yeah. So without the gate 42, you can feel frustrated by thinking about having to finish everything you began. So
Mm.
it's not worth thinking about. You're really here to like start things, not
Mhm.
initiate things like a manifester, but wait to respond, and if the response is correct for you, to start that thing.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yep.
And so in your beginnings, you're aligned too. So this is all about it's got a quality of momentum. So this is success breeds success. So as you start a successful project, it'll breed other successful projects, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And this just kind of occurs naturally.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. And then your personality Earth is your ambition, is in the gate of ambition. So this is like another root pressure. And it's mutative, and it's like kind of like a tribal to move up in the world. So you might start at a company as the janitor, and then you're the CEO after 15 years or something, because you have
Oh.
this pressure to drive and move up in the tribe, and you get
Okay.
recognized.
Okay. Yeah,
This is
that
like
makes sense.
so there's like a pressure to achieve, to rise up, to transform. This is both material and spiritual.
Hmm.
So proceeding in life through committing first to your independence, and then outside sources that can assist you. This supplies the energy for mundane ambitions and high spiritual aspirations that may be hidden within you.
Okay.
Yeah. Transformation of a spiritual nature can only happen when we've mastered our instincts to thrive on the mundane plane. So it's kind of like once we got our own lives in order, then we can master the spiritual realm. So kind of like mastering the physical and then the spiritual. And then, yeah, if you get noticed by someone higher up, there's a good chance to better your life's position.
Hmm.
And the drive needs direction to channel your ambitions to something of lasting value.
Okay.
So you don't have the gate 32. So some of your drives may turn into blind ambitions.
Huh.
Okay? That's where strategy and authority helps with having this energy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then on the design side, so I want to talk a little bit about the design side just as a refresher. So the design side is like, if the personality side is you're driving on a road, you can see all the houses, you can see where the road's turning, and you know, you can see it's a clear day out. The design side is like more of an unconscious awareness or unconscious version. So you're kind of driving in a tunnel and you're going to come out on the other side of the tunnel, but it's kind of dark in the tunnel. So
Yeah. Okay.
design side you may not really recognize in yourself, but it's definitely a part of you. So these will
Okay.
be like things you may unconsciously say to people, or like the design side has to do a lot with your body as well.
Okay.
So you have in your design sun, gate 51-4 is shock.
Where's that at?
So this is the top left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is the ability to respond to disorder and shock through recognition and adaptation. So this is backed by the ego's will and courage, embodies the power to compete, driving one step ahead of everybody and risk going where no one else has gone in order to create a place for yourself. So you're designed to withstand shock, and you have the ability to shock others. You shock
Okay.
others out of their cocoon or complacency and direct them toward personal transcendence and self-love.
Hey, that's
Oh,
like
there
you
we go.
dropping seeds at work, talking about aliens and showing people our
Yeah.
videos and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So love for life itself and constant competition to survive in the material world arouses and empowers you. The willpower that drives you also has a potential to make you reckless, which can endanger your heart, both physically and spiritually. So this is where you got to use your strategy and authority. You know, is it a good time to shock people? But you're kind of unaware that you're shocking them too, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is you know, when you have this gate too, it's also about like a needing to be first, or like winning. You may have like this winning spirit in games and stuff, like you need to win the game, and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's that going on there too.
Okay. Yeah, that resonates.
And sometimes you may feel like this melancholy or like a sadness that there's a lack of excitement in your life at times. It's just an undertone because the individual circuitry kind of, it works like it just goes like on a line, and there's like little blips up and down of like excitement or not, or like nothing.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's the creativity in the individual circuitry is really in the melancholy of it. So if you can sit with the lack of excitement, something exciting might come, right? Or you may become more creative at that in that level, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then your design earth is intuition. And this is another individual channel. So this is the extraordinary power of clarity. So this is intuitive insight in the now moment. And this is a deep inner attunement to sound, constantly alert to vibrations from the physical, emotional, and psychic environments. Moment by moment sense of security, because this is in your spleen center over here.
Okay.
This gate right here. Your constant, you may appear to be deaf to others or accused of selective hearing. Pay close attention to that little.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I have this too, so I know.
That's the face of someone that just got called TF out.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wow. If you only knew how many times somebody said that I was selective at hearing.
Yeah.
You'd be
And I'm not
laughing.
recalling me saying that, so that's why I'm laughing. I'm like, oh snap, okay.
Yep.
You want to pay close attention to that little voice inside that speaks softly and only once. When listening to your intuition in the now, there's no fear of the future. And there might be a melancholy through hearing, so that there's nothing worthwhile hearing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So You want to hear
Do you have any
exciting.
questions about?
I want to what?
It seems like you want to hear exciting things. Am I? I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, that resonates. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. Nothing
Or
exciting. I'm not hearing anything exciting, so you might go looking for something exciting to hear.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like it's always good to like sit with it and see if something exciting comes your way, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess,
Like
yeah.
the melancholy and individuality. Yeah, the melancholy and the individuality is very mutative. Like it can really help you grow spiritually and personally if you can really sit with it and understand what's going on in your own chart.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit about do you have any questions about your kind of your life's purpose or your incarnation cross?
No.
It's
Um,
okay. Like so with left, because you're a left variable, it's a very strategic mind. So you're only going to absorb maybe 10% of what I say, and as you listen to this recording a few times, you're going to gather other little bits that'll be helpful to you.
yeah.
So yeah.
That's, I mean, you're accurate. You're accurate AF, that's for sure.
I
Yeah,
could tell
mean,
he's like taking the time to just soak it all in. Like I'm sure
I'll
he'll
have
have
questions
questions
after.
later. Like when the call's over and we stop the conversation and he's had time to like think it over and mull it over in his head a couple times, he'll be like, well, what about this? And what about that? And blah, 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 blah.
That's just me though. That's how I don't know
Oh,
this.
That's your human design.
Like,
What was that, Leslie?
I said it's natural. He's built that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a natural as well in my personality sun, so I don't see my own natural talent. Other people tell me that I'm good at stuff, and then that's kind of how I started navigating life after learning about human design. So
Yeah.
as people tell you like, "Oh, you're good at this," well, then you gotta say like, and if you don't necessarily know that you're good at that thing that they said, then you would like kind of do an internal check-in. Is this something that I have the energy to do? And you ask your sacral center, right? Is this
Yeah.
something I love to do? Because, if just because you're good at something doesn't mean that it's your purpose in life, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You should be really lit up at work and then you'll have energy for days and you'll go to bed really, really well too,
Yeah.
like feeling
Okay.
satisfied. Yeah, no, it's like I was saying, the 57 has a bit of a deafness to it,
Okay.
right? So you're kind of deaf to others telling you what's going on, like because you're kind of involved in your own internal process of listening, right?
Yeah.
Listening for what's interesting. And then you also have the 43, which is part of the Genius to Freak channel, but this is all about intuitive
the
knowing
what
in the
channel?
now. So Genius to Freak.
What does that
Oh
mean?
my God.
It's kind
That's what
yeah,
I thought you said. I'm like, genius to freak. That sounds kinky. What?
Yeah, right. What does that mean?
oh that's kind of like this channel where you have intuitive knowing in the now, and
Okay.
then the other gate 23, which you don't have, which is being able to verbalize what you know,
Oh my God.
like manifest it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Manifest it verbally.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that definitely happens all the time. Like, I'm like, I know exactly how that works, but I'm trying to figure out how to tell you, and it's not coming out right. You know?
That's because of that. You're
Huh.
trying to like,
Yeah.
you're trying to put the words to it.
Yeah.
You're like
Exactly.
doing what he just said.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I don't know, there's a wow. Especially when it comes to science and like, quantum physics and mechanics, it's like I can visualize it in my mind, but then trying to explain it to somebody how I'm visualizing it, it doesn't come out right, and they just look at me like, what?
like you're a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
you a freak.
exactly.
Yeah, I know. That's why they call it the genius. to
I don't
freak,
even know
right?
if
Genius to freak.
Yeah, I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's the freak part. Is that the freak part?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Fly your freak flag, baby. Fly it.
Yeah. I'm flying the freak flag.
Yeah. Is there I was mentioning like the 57 has deafness, the 43, 23 also have deafness in it. Like it's just built into the channel. So
Okay.
and also the 38. So you have like a lot of these channels in your design that make you kind of by deafness, I mean like you're not these are individual channels that prevent you from being manipulated by other people, right? Because
Yeah.
you're not listening to what other people say all the time. So
Right.
people think like, oh, this person's not paying attention to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just you have like sometimes you have this internal knowing that you can't get out, and that's okay. Or you have this intuitive knowing and you know, and you're listening to that instead of listening to the person talking to you.
Okay.
It's just yeah, there's a lot of mystical stuff going on in here.
Yeah. That's accurate.
Yeah. And gate 38 is also this is also part of a deafness channel too. This is the fighter gate. So
Oh,
uh
38.
what's worth fighting for? Gate 38 down here
Okay.
on the route. So there's a pressure to fight for things.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And it connects up with the game player. So the fighter and the game player, if you had both of them, you'd have a design of stubbornness. So
Since
which
I
is
don't
like
have
it's
that.
stubborn because yeah, because you're determining what you fight, what you play the game for, and what you fight for yourself. So you're stubborn to other people getting in your way of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I was just going to talk about your channels. We kind of went off track there, but you have the
Sorry.
5710 here,
Okay.
and this is the channel of perfected form. So this is the design of survival. So letting your deeply intuitive impulses guide your behavior automatically releases unfounded fears for the future, fears that can keep you from fully loving yourself and embracing your life. You embody the potential to move through the world existentially without resistance. Your ability to think on your feet spontaneously perfects your form or your behavior to ensure your survival moment by moment. Thinking on your feet is a beautiful process that makes you happy and fills you with joy. Uh, by simply living your true self, you can create something healthy and beautiful with your life. Your uniqueness attracts attention and impacts people around you as your example invites others to find the value of living life as themselves. So this is kind of like you have this intuition about how to live, and you have this bodily response on how to behave based on that intuition, and through that you kind of empower others to behave and listen to themselves by just being yourself.
That's another
That
thing
makes
that
sense.
Tom and AJ spoke about is just like living in your own truth, and you're not here to convince anybody, you're just here to be the example. And then by being yourself and being your true genuine self without giving any f's about what that everybody else has to think about it, you know, you
Inspire others.
exactly, you inspire them to then do the same thing. Like it allows people to have the chance to think like, oh well, if they can just live like that and be free, like why am I living in these limitations to where I can't be the same way?
Yeah.
It's contagious.
Right, in a good way. Good job, babe.
Thank you.
All right, and then you have the 2551 over here, which is the channel of initiation. It's between the heart center and the G center.
Okay.
And the channel of initiation is a design of needing to be first. So you have a competitive nature and may arouse and empower competitiveness in others. When you enter competition correctly, it stretches or tests you to push creative limits and barriers of physical endurance. Each breakthrough brings exhilaration and a new awareness of the depth of your own spirit. And I should also mention this is all in red, so this is kind of something that just happens and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
Like you don't even know like that you're being competitive, but others may feel that you're being competitive, and it kind of initiates them into being more competitive. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because this all the individual circuitry is about
Now that yeah.
empowerment. Yeah. So as you empower yourself, you empower others to be more themselves or more competitive or whatever the gates are.
Hashtag light worker.
Right?
Yes.
Mm,
You may even power organizations with your gutsy ways of achieving personal goals. Initiating individualism is a mystical process at the heart of mutation and cannot be controlled. If you seek initiation, you will not find it. Initiation must find you so you can surrender to it.
Hmm.
If you seek to initiate others, they may fail, leaving you resentful and unfulfilled. So it's kind of nice that you have it unconscious because it's just something you do and you're not really aware of that you do it to other people.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you have the channel 2750, and this is from the sacral center to the spleen. And
Okay.
this is part of the tribal defense circuitry, and it's all about it's like a design of custodianship or like raising youth and stuff like this, or teaching the youth, and also being a bit of a guardian for the youth.
Okay.
So you're someone whose aura who draws out trust from others, so others naturally look to you for support and nurturing. So when you have a channel like this, you may be at a mall, and a mother needs to use the washroom, and she'll be like, "Can you watch my kid?" And then she'll go and use the washroom, and you're like, "Why does this lady trust me?" Because you
Okay.
have this channel.
Okay. Yeah.
You know she can trust you with her kids, right?
Yeah.
So has that ever happened to you? Stuff like that, where people trust you,
Not
and you're
that
like, "Why is
ex
this person?"
not that exact situation, but yeah, other situations have happened, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
People trust you.
Yeah. 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 Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
So you're capable of assuming a lot of responsibility, and you're susceptible to taking on too much as well.
okay.
So this is where you also need your strategy and authority to know which responsibilities are correct for you.
Okay.
Only the strong and healthy can nurture and guide others towards survival, improved health, and success. So if you're not strong and healthy yourself, then you can't really be helping anyone else, right?
Right.
You
So
can't
this
pour
is
from an empty cup, right?
that's right.
Right.
Yeah, a good way of saying it. Uh, I was like referring to the Gate 27-1, which is the Gate 27-1 is all about being selfish. So loving yourself selfishly so that you have the energy to care and support. It's the foundation of caring.
Okay.
Being a bit selfish with your energy.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You actually have yours in 27.5, so the executor. So this is all about distribution of your caring resources to other people.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is like what this is the projection field that you carry to other people, that, oh, this person can help me out in these situations in caring.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And we'll go down to your last channel, which is the channel of concentration. So this is a design of determination. So you continually access the details of what you dedicate yourself to. You can experience a quiet pressure to be still, not as a stress, but more like a tension that keeps you in place, similar to a yoga pose.
Hmm.
When you still your body and senses in order to use your energy in a focused and precise way, you still your body, right? So it's like the gate 52 is the gate of the mountain, and the gate 9 is the gate of, I think, details. Nope, taming of the power. Yeah, taming the power of the small. Sorry.
What'd you
So it's
say?
kind of like sitting still and concentrating.
AKA meditation.
Yeah, aka meditation.
Yeah.
But when you actually have this formatting channel, this because it's a formatting channel, it flows in through the rest of your design. So being still and concentrating is something that you just do naturally. And as you're doing it, you actually allow other people to focus and remain still to do tasks and stuff.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So your sacral response determines which patterns which pattern your stored energy will be devoted to perfecting, and when you will share it. Your true life focus or focuses will emerge as you follow your response over time.
Okay.
You may find yourself restless and depressed if there's nothing worthwhile to concentrate on too. So that's the shadow side of this channel.
Yeah, for sure.
That's when he'll
Okay.
go seek out something exciting or start a new project.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. uh,
Yep.
wow,
Yeah,
that's
so you kind of see how your design is all about like starting new projects and then sitting there and focusing on the projects. And then when you don't have a project, you're kind of back into the loop of finding the next project.
Accurate
And
AF.
yeah, but I mean, I do finish things. I have a lot of projects that I finished, but
Oh,
then there's some that I haven't yet. I'm going to finish them, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Wow.
yeah. Just know that if you don't finish them, it's okay.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Everything is all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is okay.
Just love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to learn to love yourself, because remember I was talking about the open throat center, which is your action and communication.
Mhm.
So the not self will tell you that you need to like start a new project, and you'll move into action to start a new project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't.
it's just
I like
it's just good
hobbies.
to be aware.
I like
You don't have to
hobbies.
defend yourself. We're just,
Yeah.
Yeah. I always like the saying they tell the kids, you get what you get and you don't get upset.
Okay.
That's a good way of saying it.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like, my design's got a lot of things in it. Everybody's got, push button trigger points in their design. And it's just, well, you get what you get and you don't get upset. But it's developing that awareness and going through that uncomfortable process of being aware of it, and then learning to love yourself for who you really are.
Yeah.
That's where human design really helps you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Okay.
I feel like that's where this could really help, because if you understand you're literally just designed this way, then you could like work
Accept
with those
yourself more.
features. Yes, accept yourself more and work with those features and love
Mhm.
yourself more. And
Yeah.
then from there, it's like, instead of I'm thinking in my head of the analogy of like flowing down a river. Like, you can fight the current and you could use all your energy and you could like, resist, or you could
Or
just grow with the
flow.
flow. Grow
Right.
with the
Yeah.
flow.
Just flow with it.
Right.
Yeah, but be aware of the not self and work with that.
Yep. that too.
Awareness.
Mhm.
Awareness of it is really how it's so helpful to.
Yeah.
I mean, you can work to improve, but there's some things, I guess, that you can't. Can you not like improve all the way because you're just built like that, right? That's a question for you, Donald.
Well, the whole thing is about having awareness of like the not self behaviors, right? And then not judging yourself so harshly when
Mhm.
you fall back into them, because it's just like how to explain this? If you're on a path and you're going the wrong way, and you eventually see a street, and then you're like, oh, that's not where I should be going. It's not to kick yourself. It's just, well, this added 15 more minutes to my commute, so I'm just going to start going the right way now. It's just a signpost, right? When you
Yeah.
recognize yourself doing and you're aware of it,
Okay.
right? Because the goal is to like move towards satisfaction for generators, right?
Yeah.
If because what happens as a generator, if you're running around and you don't like your job, and you're bringing all this life force energy that you don't like your job, your aura is open and enveloping, so anybody around you is soaking that in, right? So yeah, when Ra first started the system, he's like, oh, I'll target generators for the system, because if we can get the life force energy acting in a loving way, that will just kind of spread out to everybody else. But he had a hard time convincing generators that anything was even wrong.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
then he started focusing more on projectors, who are kind of like going to be these future leaders or guides for humanity.
Okay.
How do you feel about that,
No
Leslie?
pressure, Leslie.
Yeah, right.
I'm just gonna go with the flow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss Projecta.
Yeah.
Thank you, Donald.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
This has
welcome.
been very illuminating.
Yes, you are
Yeah.
right. You are sharing valuable information with whoever might watch this, and I think it can change lives. So
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm still blown away. Like, you know, I don't know. There's so many things that you said, you know, that describe me. It's kind of ridiculous. You know, I'm like, wow, how can this, you know, be so accurate? But it is.
Mhm.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's amazing. I highly recommend anybody out there who's listening to definitely get your human design chart done.
Mhm. Yep.
it just helps you live life consciously even more.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what this show's all about.
Yep. And do us a favor while you're still hanging around. Click that like, click that subscribe, ring the little notification bell, drop a lovely comment down below, and share this video with your family and friends to help us spread the word. All right,
Love
guys.
yourself.
Thank you so much. We enjoyed this, and I always appreciate hanging out with you guys. It's always a good time.
Yeah.
So thank you also to our audience that's here hanging out with us, and we'll see you on the next one. Mwah! Much love. Deuces.
Namaste.
Peace.